Ngayong naipasa na ang Mortgage Rescue Bill, umaasa ang marami na makakatulong ito sa libo-libong homeowners na nanganganib marimata ang bahay. So ang tanong ay, panahon na ba para magpa-refi?
Now, here to drive the message home and to help us understand the whole issue of refinancing is Ruel Cordero. He is, of course, the president of RPC Capital Group, a mortgage company. Ruel, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, Mortgage Rescue Bill, what does this aim to do? Is this a lifeline that our homeowners have been waiting for?
Yes, it's a long time coming. The bill would essentially allow hundreds of trapped homeowners in homes that are upside down and they couldn't refinance, and it'll throw them a lifeline. Backed by the Federal Housing Authority, or FHA, signed by President Bush last July.
Okay, now home equity plays a lot into this whole issue of refinancing. Paano naman kung meron tayong mga ka-nation na wala nang equity dun sa kanilang mga tahanan? Pwede pa rin ba silang mag-avail nitong Mortgage Rescue Program?
Correct. As long as maka-qualify sila sa mga certain requirements that's stipulated, we can definitely take a look at that and see if they can do of it.
Now, speaking of these requirements, alam mo, paminsan pag nakikita natin tong mga ganitong klaseng bill, nalulula tayo hindi ba, dun sa mga qualifications and requirements. In a nutshell, ano ba yung mga qualifications for you to be able to avail of this program?
Two things. Kailangan maka-document tayo ng income. You have to be able to show how much income you're making. Unfortunately, if you are earning substandard, or let's say nabili mo yung bahay and you're really only working for Walgreens or you're working as a caregiver, you're not going to qualify for the new loan. As far as for credit is concerned, surprisingly, you don't have to have perfect credit. Kahit behind ka sa payments, you can still be availed of the loan.
Is there a magic number we're looking at here in terms of credit score na pwedeng makapasok doon? Let's say everything else is in order.
I've seen as low as 580 allowed by the FHA that they will entertain you, again, so long as i-document natin yung income natin.
Okay, nabanggit mo kanina na kahit behind in payments, pwedeng mag-qualify.
Yes, I have a client right now, as a matter of fact, and she's currently behind 2 months in payments. Although the program doesn't formally start until October 1st, she would be possibly qualified for that one. Kung kahit may tamang credit natin, is still okay.
So, ngayon pa lang, kung if you're not behind in payments or you're behind in payments, your papers are in order, mabuti nang kontakin yung lender ninyo just to see if you can qualify?
It's important that you do work with someone who is skillful in the negotiations part of it, because the main caveat is your existing lender has to agree to write off the balance. They have to take a loss. And so it's important that you work with a loan agent that can skillfully negotiate and impart your case, how dire your needs are sa lender mo, so they will another one.
Would you have to shell out money to be able to qualify?
Not with my company, no. I don't believe in charging anything up front. If we can help you out, terrific, and then our fees will be taken care of by the lender.
Okay. What are the most common mistakes that you've seen in the past years when people apply for refinancing?
Several things. If you're under pressure, don't ever try to refinance. If you're under a time pressure, then you can't make an adequate decision, and oftentimes you get a bad deal. You end up paying much higher. I made a couple of notes here.
Go ahead.
If you pay too much in closing costs, obviously, it pays well to shop around, see what's available out there. You could get the wrong loan type. If you're only planning to stay in the house for 3 years, no reason to get a 30-year mortgage. If you have an existing loan that has a prepayment penalty, you may not want to refinance just yet kasi mabigat talaga yung mga prepayment penalty fees. Lastly, if you borrow too much, you have to understand talaga, if you work with a good mortgage planner, they'll help you understand how much you should borrow.
Merong kasi mga ibang tao na porket bumaba lang yung interest rates, they jump into it right away. Sinasabi nila na, okay, mababa na yung interest rates, maybe it's time to refinance. Is that a good thought pattern?
Yeah. Before coming here, I checked what today's rates are, and they did go down. For a typical family, let's say you save $300 a month. That in and of itself is a lot to their bottom line home budget. And I go a step further. I'll advise my clients, you have to speak to an investment advisor. Take that $300 that you're going to be saving with me and invest it wisely to retirement or student, whatever, college funding.
So if there are 3 things that one should think about before going into refinances, what are these 3 things?
You have to look at all the situation, and there's no one-size-fit-all loan. I really don't believe in that. And so you walk into a bank, you might just get their one product. And it's important important that you work with a mortgage planner who can really take the time to understand yung anong kailangan mo, whether you're going to keep this house for a short term or long term, and what other factors are in your financial household. And only then can a good consultant can put together a plan for you.
So don't leave it all up to the consultant. Kailangan may pagkakaintindihan kayong
Siyempre.
dalawa.
He has to have your needs in his heart.
Okay, maraming salamat, Ruel.
Thank you
Thanks
very
for
much for
joining
having
us.
me.
That was, of course, Ruel Cordero of RPC Capital Group, a mortgage company. Ngayon, the learning continues. It doesn't stop here on Adobo Nation, of course, especially for our regular remitters. Here's